doesn't give a fuck about headroom. He's like, why the fuck do I have to do this? He just said, why the fuck do I have to even do this podcast? He says.
I didn't say that.
And counting, episode 9. Absolute chaos. There's a lot going on. This is the week leading up to the Super Bowl. Declan Hickey to my left, Jack Waldemar. I'm Chuck Rossi. It's been a busy week. Celtics make a trade yesterday for Vuce, out of Chicago. Vuce. I don't know what his nickname is.
Vucci Mane, let's call him.
Vucci Mane. I'm not fucking with that one. Celtics. Wow. Patriots are in the Super Bowl. We talked a little bit about that last episode. A little bit more media availability going on right now. You know, we'll talk a little bit about that, but we'll have a full kind of podcast episode on the Super Bowl. Probably, today's Wednesday. You're seeing this podcast on Wednesday. It's one of those. Friday's Friday. You're seeing the new podcast on Friday. So it's just that's how it's gonna be. So enjoy it, and we're enjoying this week. It's nice to be a Boston sports fan. There's always a team that's in it every single year. That's outside of the Revolution. So give or take, we're in a good spot now. We'll start off the top. Patriots in the Super Bowl. Obviously, media availability. The biggest story of what this past week has been was Drake May's shoulder. The doctor had all, that old Chargers team doctor, he guessed it correctly. There's a little bit of mayhem on Twitter about, if he was a valid doctor or not, or does he know what the fuck he's talking about, whatever. It's obvious Drake has had an issue with his shoulder. He's been throwing for, this is probably the most amount of weeks in a row he's thrown a football in a game scenario in his career, in his life. So it wasn't surprising at all, but it's good to hear now that he'll be a full participant at practice, and that the trainers have kind of put him together and put a good plan on him, and he's ready to go, full go mode. That's kind of a non-story now because of all the reporting. And you look at Robert Spillane interviewed this morning. He said he feels like he's 100% ready to go for Sunday. Whether they're going to shoot him up with cortisol or not, he will be on the field and playing for this team. And I think the first thing I want to hit off the bat is what this matchup is like for the Patriots. I think that they really match up quite well. We talked about it in our first episode. The thing is, though, the entirety of America doesn't believe that. The entire national consensus doesn't believe the Patriots have a shot. I think I saw a tweet that was like 9 out of 9 of the reporters on The Athletic picked the Seahawks. Yep. It was like,
you see Pat Surtain?
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I don't really give a shit. I mean, fuck any Broncos player or fan that's talking at this point. I mean,
loser answer.
Exactly. I mean, we heard enough of that shit going up into this stiddy up bullshit. I don't even want to talk about it. But we saw some of the reporters, ESPN, I think it was like 29 out of 32 had the Seahawks. So is it beginning to look a lot like 2001? Who's this Drake May? Because that's kind of how I'm feeling about this. Big underdog story for the Patriots. I think Vrabel likes that. I think he said, he made a very coach speak answer, said, I'm not going to dislike it. Nobody believes in this Patriots team.
Yeah. Which, we kind of had that the whole postseason, within the Texans game, the whole ESPN crew picked the Texans to wipe the floor with us. And then they changed their mind about, I don't know, because there's always a different the media changes their mind every time, but they're just every time. When you beat the Texans, CJ Stroud's bad. Doesn't count. When you beat Justin Herbert's bad. Even though the Chargers have a great defense, Texans have a great defense. You guys are gonna lose to Stiddy. Never mind. He's bad. He's bad. But again, another top 10 defense. So yeah, like you said, they kind of embrace the underdog mentality the whole season. They talked about it. They talked about at the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. No one thought they were going to win games, even though they thought they were. So this team has have the belief for sure. I think I just don't get how people think this is going to be a blowout. I think this is this is two great teams with two great quarterbacks who are in the first Super Bowl and both great defenses. So yeah, I think the Patriots do like can't stand to this team. I just don't really get the picks the media are doing. But but I don't mind being the underdog again if it means we can prove them wrong, because we're playing with house money at this point. So who the fuck cares?
Yeah, look, I think you make a good point, Declan. Like, I think people have been saying it all year. We're playing with house money. Obviously, we won what six plus more games than we were supposed to, or that people had us, winning. Obviously, 2 back-to-back 4-win years, and then you hire Vrabel in his first year. He's in the Super Bowl, right?
Mhm.
Like nobody, I think I can say, I'll speak for you two. I don't think any of us thought they'd be in the Super Bowl.
No.
Maybe even the divisional round of the playoffs, right? So, Declan, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like it's playing with house money, but I think they want to get the job done. I think
Of course.
they realize they have a belief within that locker room, and so does the fan base now. And that's all you need. It doesn't matter if the country's against us or whatnot. They've been against us for the last 20 years, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and look, Chuck, to answer your point about opening as underdogs, like that doesn't mean anything to us. I mean, last time we played Seattle, we were the underdogs, or we opened as underdogs. Like it's just, to me, it's like, okay, cool. People don't think we're supposed to win. We have nothing to lose. Let's go out there and play football. So I feel great about this matchup. Again, I would be a lot more nervous if we were playing LA and probably a future Hall of Famer and Matthew Stafford was on the other side. But yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun on Sunday. I think both, got to give credit to both coaches, what they've done with their teams. And, I think Patriots have a legit shot.
Yeah.
Legit shot indeed. I mean, I'm very excited to see where the Patriots end up, kind of how they start this game. I think one thing you can kind of note that I saw Mike Reese talking about was that the Patriots have scored a total of 3 points in the first quarter of the last 9 Super Bowls they've competed in. So, are you going to follow that trend? Are you going to score 3 points in the first quarter? Are you, I think when you're playing a Seattle team and when you get into the sticks of it, when you get within the lines and within the sticks, the Seahawks run a cover 6. It is something that Drake has kind of struggled with a little bit all season. They're going to probably look to exploit him on that. I heard a friend of the show, Tony Maserati, on 98.5 yesterday, trying to explain cover 6 to a friend of the show, Mike Felger. And he was just fucking saying shit. I mean, it wasn't the greatest explanation I ever heard in my life, but it's Maz. What's the expectation there? But I think again, they're going to load one side. Drake's going to have to pick his spots. And Drake was just quoted a couple hours ago at media availability saying that there is weaknesses in every single defense that you play. Man, cover 3, cover 2, cover 6. I mean, if that's what you're going to go into it with, pick your spots. I think he's going to have to rely on the tight ends a lot too. Hunter Henry is going to have a great game. And as I stated before, Stephon Diggs is going to have the game of his life. So the rest of the receivers can eat a little bit more, right? I think, and I've said this before, I think Seattle's defense is tactical. They are not physical. They are tactical. They will throw stuff at you that you've never seen. They will do stunts that are so ridiculous. I mean, the thing about the Texans was they didn't run anything that was out of this world. I mean, they would run cover 3, they would man up sometimes, but their pressure was physical. Right. Their pressure was so good that they didn't have to stunt anyone. Right? I mean, look at the Patriots defense. It's all over the fucking place. They send Marcus Jones to stunt sometimes, out of the secondary. They'll stunt Christian Ellis and use Jack Gibbons as a battering ram to open up a hole for Milton Williams. Like they do, yeah. The Patriots do a lot more shit defensively that, quite frankly, to my next point on this podcast, I think Sam Darnold is a statue. And he had the game of his life in the NFC Championship game. He was slinging it. I mean, that was one of the best games I've ever seen Sam Darnold have, maybe since his days at USC, right? So from me to you guys, if the Patriots don't pressure the quarterback and win inside, because my big key to this, we're not going to give score predictions today. We'll give some keys, though. If they can't win this battle in the trenches with Sam Darnold, the secondary is going to have to play its best game as well, right? And I would much rather, in my opinion, get to the quarterback and a dump off for 5 yards than, get lost in space and lose JSN on a 50-yard bomb, down the
Or
sideline.
Shahid on the go route.
Or Shahid, right? So
Yeah.
you get to
Pick up in the
you
flat
get to
still.
Sam, and you make him make quick decisions, and that's not really his thing. So I think that's another situation where you're going to rely on your front, the guys the rotation of guys, the deepest part of your defense is what you're going to rely on Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, Kyrus Tonga, Corey Durden, who was up there in quarterback pressures, number 2 to Jeffrey Simmons. I mean, that was a waiver wire pickup, right? So, we'll see where that goes. But I think that's kind of the next point of this is Sam Darnold. The only way you stop him is, keep him in the pocket. He's a statue.
Yeah, look, I think it's quite obvious that Mike. I shouldn't say Mike. Vrabel, because they're both Mikes, the head coaches. So Vrabel is definitely scheming something, because he knows as a defensive guy, and playing against Donovan McNabb in that Eagles Super Bowl, who was literally throwing up on the field because the pressure got to him. Like, he's going to make Sam Darnold kind of feel the same way, and he knows how to do that, right? I mean, that defense in that year that the Patriots played the Eagles was just too much for the Eagles offense to handle, and they had Terrell Owens and Donovan McNabb, and Donovan was getting the best of the pressure. I think Mike's going to do something very similar to Sam Darnold, and he's going to say, if we're going to lose this game, we're going to lose it. We're going to have Sam Darnold beat us. And I think that everyone knows that's going to be hard for Sam to do. With that being said, he's played an unbelievable year. He's been exceeding expectations, like, to the max. But again, like, this isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. This isn't the 2021 Super Bowl champion. This is a first time Super Bowl appearance guy. And I think Mike knows exactly what he wants to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like everyone has said the past week, it's going to be like a battle of the trenches, like Chuck said. That's kind of all because it's like you don't really want to try to deal with this wide receiving core for the Seahawks, because it's a very good like wide receiving core. It's like very good. Also, their tight ends don't slouch. Like AJ Barner's also pretty decently good, like a tight end as well. So yeah, like I think you want to get pressure as early as you can. I think if you can be the first team to put pressure, like on like a guy like Sam Darnold, who's hasn't had a good history against the Patriots. I will say that the classic I'm like seeing ghosts out there is a classic line. But like, yeah, I just think you want to be like you want to get ahead like early of like from this team to win this game, because I think if you get caught behind, and if it's the second quarter or it's halftime and there's no pressure on Darnold, he his jersey's not been like ruined, it's not green at all, then I don't see how how we win that game if you get no pressure on him at all, because he's gonna sling it like he did against the Rams and like he did against the Niners. So yeah.
I want to quickly touch upon. I think it's important that we completely take Kenneth Walker out of the game. I mean, we all saw what he did against LA in the NFC title game. I mean, that guy fights for extra yards. He's going to do whatever it takes. He's great. He's a great back. He can receive. He's powerful. He's quick, and he can find the hole. He's that big. He's like small enough size to find the hole. So he can kind of do it all as a running back. So I think if you take him out of their offense and kind of force Donald to throw the ball more to JSN and obviously Shahid and the tight end and Kupp, like, good things are going to happen. Mistakes are going to be made, but you got to take the ball out of Walker's hands.
Yeah.
I don't want to get all like football fucking Mr. High School quarterback, Mr. Glory days, but you look at where the West Coast offense started. Bill Walsh obviously originating and creating it in 1968 in Cincinnati, which isn't even the West Coast, but that's where he started it. It's all built off the run, and that's all it is. And the reason being that I quite frankly enjoy watching West Coast offenses like the McVay tree, the LaFleur tree, whatever you want. People are kind of tying it back to Sean McVay now because it's kind of his thing. Is that everything is built out of the run. That means on 1st and 10, you can kind of expect a zone blocking scheme up front. That doesn't mean we're pulling a guy. That doesn't mean everyone's just down. Whoever's ahead of you, you get him. That's that zone scheme. And if that linebacker comes through, you might as well chip him. They'll take 4 yards. They'll take the 5. Kenneth Walker resembles to me a pass catching Le'Veon Bell. I mean, he is so just, all right, wait, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, hit the hole. Right? He's not going to hit the hole. And when he hits it and he waits and he's patient, it's burst. It's exciting, right? And you don't want to see that. And I think you're going to utilize your weapons up front. You're going to utilize a Kairos Tonga. You're going to utilize the two. I think, in my opinion, if you could give playoff MVPs, Christian Barmore and Milton Williams would take them all the way for me. I mean, even if they're not on the box score, the pressure that they have caused up front, like this episode name, it was chaos. Anytime that they're caught, they're like a wrecking ball crew. So from Bill Walsh all the way to what this scheme is now with Kubiak now, who's 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door officially as he's accepted the Las Vegas Raiders head coaching job. So what does that do to a locker room is another question we can ask, right? I mean, I'm sure he wants to win a Super Bowl, but I think he's kind of thinking about who, we're going to take Fernando Mendoza with the number 1 overall pick. He's not even in that front office yet. He's not even working in that locker room yet. So I wonder what that does to a guy like Kubiak, who's the son of I'd say a great coach in Gary, right? So
yeah,
fuck the Broncos though. But
fuck the Broncos.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you can stop the run and you make Sam Darnold extremely one-dimensional, it's just you versus JSN. I mean, that's kind of all it is, right? And Cooper Kupp, I don't know. He's older. I'm not really worried about him.
He's good in the in the slot, in the flat.
Sure, but I think Rashid Shaheed and JSN have my attention. I also think Kenneth Walker has the most of my attention, and the interior of the Seahawks offensive line.
Yeah, he's just so quick on his feet, though.
Biggest thing about the Seahawks interior offensive line is not great. So, I mean, you kind of have to attack that and do your job. Biggest thing for the Patriots offensive line, Will Campbell says this is the best he's felt since pre-injury, right? Jared Wilson's been a guy that is probably going to move to center next year, right? So, there's question marks on the left side of the offensive line. I think Morgan Moses, Mike Onwenu have held their ground incredibly well. Mike Onwenu, one of the best rated right guards in the NFL right now. But at the end of the day, before we move on, because we're kind of eclipsing the 20-minute mark of just talking Patriots, my keys for the Patriots are as quick and easy as this. Control the football. You got to be able to run the ball offensively, and make Sam Darnold one-dimensional. Those are my 3 keys.
Go ahead, Declan.
Okay, well, I'll go. I think definitely getting a run game going, and make sure that is making sure Henderson, he needs to be utilized more. I think hasn't really done amazing in these games, which isn't all his fault. But there's been times where the holes have been there, and he sometimes doesn't really go to the right hole. So yeah, obviously the run game. I think getting pressure early, which is what I said before, and basically just containing the run. It's kind of the same thing as Chuck, basically. So yeah,
I'm gonna go. Pressure Donald early, make him uncomfortable early. Obviously, I think another one's got to be get into Seattle territory on the offensive end. If the Patriots offense keeps going 3 and out and not even getting past the 50, forget it. I mean, just forget it. Right? So I think that's a big one. Give yourself chances to score, whether it's field goal or a touchdown. Just put yourself in a position to score points. And then honestly, lastly, I think we need to see a big game from Behringer. I do. I'm afraid of Shaheed, when it comes to punting. I actually this guy was kicking 30 yards the other day before it started snowing. And then it was 25 in the snow.
I want to say, Jack, I was laughing, but your point is so fucking true. Because this 38 and counting, 3-8 NC as they say, is one of the biggest proprietors of the Bryce Behringer propaganda machine in the NFL because of the guy to my left, Declan Hickey. So, I agree. I think, me personally, if you're going to punt the ball and just boot it and you can't get it over that guy's head, just pull it. Declan's over here like, you don't want to punt the ball out of bounds. When there's a guy like, I was saying that to Declan, but I'm saying when it's a guy like Rashid Shaheed, if you want to pull the ball and it's out of bounds at the 25, at the 30, maybe even the 35, fuck. I'd rather do that than put the ball in that guy's hands.
He's that good of
Or you say, all right, Jeremy Springer, you're the only coach that returned from last year, right? Let's see what you fucking got, right? I don't know. We'll see. What if Brendan Schooler is this guy's kryptonite? Who fucking knows? Anyways,
okay.
We got to move on. I want to say something I was itching to say it about, I don't know, 15 minutes ago when our guy Chris Cotillo, that's not how you say it, by the way. That's just how we say it, tweeted something
I saw
that I think is spectacular for the Boston Red Sox. My first time ever on ESPN. I mean, my first time on a national ESPN broadcast. I'm sitting in the crowd, and I see a guy by the name of Mickey Gasper get up off the bench, get to the stairs, and I get on my feet, and me and my friend Johan, who, Jack knows exactly who Johan is.
Oh my God.
I get up on my seat and I say, Mickey fucking Gasper! And the Boston fucking Red Sox today have claimed Mickey Gasper off of waivers. I just want to give a round of applause for Craig Breslow. Guys, we found our bat. There he is. Mickey Gasper's back. The Red Sox are back. Alex Bregman, who? Mickey Gasper is here. There's definitely going to be actual people on Twitter that feel that way, by the way. They're going to actually say shit like that. But again, I just wanted to announce that. We were just doing Bryce Behringer talk. Now we're talking Mickey Gasper. Where the fuck is this podcast gone all of a sudden?
Mickey Gasper had that walk, though. It was the most electric walk I've ever seen.
I was fucking there. It was the greatest walk of all time.
And then I think Refsnyder hit a walk-off, right?
Refsnyder hit a walk-off into the gap. R.I.P. Rob Refsnyder, by the way. He's a Seattle Mariner. All right, well, we're going to actually move into the Red Sox for a little bit. Then we're going to move to Celtics and wrap the show up with that, which means we're going to talk a lot of basketball. So if you're not a basketball watcher, it's like, it's like when we did, are we freezing? Let's go.
Yeah, your screen's just like blurry. It's like moving it everywhere. Yeah. I don't know what's happening.
We're a podcast away, by the way, from moving to a different website. So stay tuned for that, Jack Hall and Declan Hickey, for our production. Next podcast. So the Red Sox swung hard at the fences for Ranger Suarez. We had a whole pod for that. We were like, Ranger fucking Suarez, he's the number 2. Fucking awesome. But there was also literally the exact same time that Alex Bregman signed with the Chicago Cubs the night before.
Yeah.
And since then, the one guy I didn't want on the team that I had to succumb to being like, all right, I'll accept a Geno Suarez. I'll accept it. He strikes out like 30% of the time, plays horrible defense, but he hits 49 bombs, right? So he's like a poor man's Kyle Schwarber, except Kyle Schwarber walks like all the fucking time. And he ends up taking a $12 million deal for one season with the Cincinnati Reds. The Red Sox never even attempted to sign him. Their interest was lukewarm, as they said. So now I want to talk a little bit about what the fuck this roster is going to look like and where everyone's going to fit and what it's going to look like. We're unfortunately looking at a Cedar Rafaela playing second base, and I want to start with that. I'll start with Declan, actually. Then I'm gonna hear how Jack watched a fucking insane season of Cedar Rafaela last year. I mean, all the ups and downs. Every time you watch the Cedar Rafaela season, it's like being on a fucking roller coaster at Canopy Lake Park. You never know when the fuck that shit's going down.
Yeah.
Declan, what does it do moving that guy to second base?
I don't know. He wasn't even. It's just like so bad. It's not even. It's just like. When he was second base, just the error after errors were just like it was like the most aggravating thing you could like ever think of, because it's so weird to think of a guy who's so good with his glove in center field. He's not really that fucking good at second base, he's not really that good. well, no, like he was playing shortstop, I guess, or like both. He was playing both.
Yeah,
at
he
that
split
time,
some time. Yeah.
which was fucking ridiculous to even have at that point. Um, I don't know. They need a second baseman. I don't think I can watch David Hamilton ball, bro. I'm sorry, it's been like 4 years. You know, like we give that grace to young players, but he's no longer a young player. Okay. He would be amazing if he could hit the ball just a little consistently. He would be like great.
I mean,
Like
I would be a great Major League Baseball player if I could hit the ball consistently too.
I know because he has the speed, but that's fucking it. And they just need to sign somebody, but like it's getting to a point where like, is it Parade? Like, is it Nico Horner who they can't even seem to get him? Like, I don't even know what to do with this. But I would rather have somebody play second rather than say don't have to play. And I guess we can't trade Jaron Duran either because no one fucking wants him.
Before I go to Jack on this, I do want to give a little bit of like positivity because I feel like the optimism train for the Boston Red Sox on this podcast, it's running low on fuel.
Yeah.
Like the consensus outside is like, whoa, the Red Sox rotation.
Yeah.
Which is a great rotation, but you can't win fucking baseball games
if you don't have
pitching the ball. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know Craig Breslow would love for a game where you're just pitching and you score runs while you pitch. That's just not how it works. I do want to give a little optimism though. Christian Campbell looks great. I mean, he had a month in the MLB where he was a stud. He was the all-star player of the month. And then the fall off and the injury and the rib injury. And, you know, they've completely fixed his stance. They've fixed the swing.
Yeah, his swing looks great.
He's put on 13 pounds of straight muscle. They're playing him at both second base and the outfield. There's a chance there where, you know, you bite the bullet again. You say, okay, can you play below average to average defense at second base? Right? And Jaron Duran becomes your DH. But that moves to another issue here about Masataka Yoshida's contract, which is we can talk about. But Jack, Cedar Rafael in center field, some of those catches you see where he's just, you know, gliding to the ball and makes the catch. I mean, some of those catch rates and the possibility of the catch, it's sometimes 20%. He makes it look that easy. What does it do moving a guy like that to second?
Yeah, first of all, you know, I just need a minute or two to just have the spotlight on me.
Okay.
You know, look, it's after the wild card against the Yankees, when you get shut out in game 3, clearly lacking hitting, and you go a whole off season and you get worse offensively. I mean, to me, it just seems like they don't care. Like it seems like they're just clueless. Like the guys in the front office have I'm sorry, until proven otherwise, there's just a bunch of me's up there in the front office. Like, I don't know what, I'm confused. I'm frustrated because, again, when the Red Sox are good, they're good and they're fun and they get Boston behind them. When they suck, it's miserable and it's the laughing stock of the league. And let me tell you, the Red Sox should never be the laughing stock of the league because of how much money and profit and incentives this franchise has and how big it is for the league. But we get worse on the offensive side. I've never heard of a team that has won the World Series strictly off of pitching and they're hitting blows. It doesn't happen. I'm frustrated because this team sucks. This team actually sucks. And if you can't hit the ball, you're not going anywhere. And that place is still going to be sold out regardless. And it pisses me off because they're not going to do anything with it.
So I know you didn't answer the St. question, but at the same time, your frustrations but your frustrations are more important than that because that's what the entire fan base feels like. You know, I saw Declan shaking his head a little bit. I want to ask you.
What?
I mean, the lineup, if you look at the infield and the outfield, and you move shit around in your head, because for some reason, as a Red Sox fan, you have to be the GM. The GM doesn't do his job. You have to be the GM and say, okay, we can do this and move this around and then that will work. Because at the end of the day, they don't have a plan. They don't.
Yeah.
And I think, for me, when I was like, there's a 48% chance Alex Bregman's going to resign. And then I was like, there's a 52% chance. And I was like, there's a 48%. I just kept flipping back and forth. And I knew when Bregman went to the Cubs that they didn't have a plan. There's no way they had a plan. They threw a bag at Ranger because they're like, okay, well, we have to spend the money somewhere. When you look at the infield and the outfield and you move shit around and you say, okay, this works, that works, whatever. At the end of the day, you're looking at an outfield, technically, as we stand today, and a bench. I'll list it out there. We're going to go catcher around, right? Carlos Narvaez is your starting catcher. Your first baseman, where you upgraded, and Wilson Contreras. Good upgrade. Second base, Cedar Rafaela. Shortstop, Trevor Story. Third base, Marcelo Meyer. Left field, Roman Anthony. Center field, Jarren Duran. Right field, Willie Abreu. Your DH is Masataka Yoshida. Your bench is David Hamilton, Romy Gonzalez, Connor Wong, and probably Christian Campbell. Can that compete for 85 plus wins? I have no fucking idea. Can Marcelo stay healthy at third base? I have no fucking idea. Can Roman Anthony stay healthy in left field? I have no fucking idea. Contreras, he'll be a good leader. Can Abreu stay healthy in right field? I have no idea. I don't know. It's all ifs. And you're also banking on and tying your wagon to a 22-year-old superstar. Roman Anthony. I mean, he's a superstar. Yes, but you're that's all you got in this lineup, right? As currently, constructed. You have Roman Anthony leading off. Who the fuck is batting second? Trevor Story? What fear factor does Trevor Story have to any pitcher? He had the best, probably he had his best season on the Red Sox last year. Probably he'll never top that. He will not top that season this year. It won't happen. Will he stay healthy? Oh, if he doesn't stay healthy, holy fuck, we're fucked. Because that means Marcelo goes to shortstop. That means we're going to see Romy Gonzalez starting at third base. Romy Gonzalez has like a -7 defensive run saved. Did we not trade Rafael Devers away because we said, oh, he's so bad at third base and he doesn't want to play first and he's a locker room cancer and X, Y, and Z. We were really trying to talk that up in this room, but we also knew how fucking bad the trade was at the same time.
Yeah.
We are in a shit hole right now. And I'm done playing GM. I'm done playing general manager. I'm done moving parts around for the fucking team. It's their job to do that. And it's no longer, Jack, I know it's like an ownership problem. They don't want to delve out money, whatever. I feel like the money's 100% there right now. It's got to be the guy that's running the show.
Look, I don't know what the fuck it is, but at the end of the day, the two teams that made the World Series got better. And you made the wild card and you get shut out in game 3 and you got worse.
Got shut out by Cam fucking Schlittler.
Who's
are we serious?
He was dialed that game, but he sucks.
That's right. Thank you.
He was dialed that game, but he
fucking
sucks.
dialed. It pissed me off.
You're saying that now. Holy fuck.
It's like Jack putting a fucking hand on the Bible finally to hear him say something.
Let me tell you something. If Cam Schlittler was pitching in that situation against the Dodgers or the Blue Jays, he gets pulled after inning 2. He gets pulled after inning 2. Our lineup sucks so badly. Like, I can't even tell you how frustrated I am.
The amount of strikeouts me and Jack sat through, even in game 1, was bewildering to me. I'm like, they're going to strike out. And I know they're a team that strikes out a lot. But I was like, they're going to strike out this much in this series? It was unbelievable.
We were swinging at balls that were bouncing before the plate. Like, what? How? How is that possible? How are you doing that? You are a MLB team. How are you doing
Here's
that?
my thing, right? And I'm going to go to Declan. I want to hear his kind of closing thoughts on where they're going to... Guys, we're like 20 some odd days away from spring training. This is the team. This is
I don't
it.
give a damn.
But I'm
I
saying,
don't give a damn how close we are to spring
I know,
training.
but
Teams suck.
I'm saying this is the team. They're not going to make any more moves. That's it. You
Right.
know?
But
So
just go to Worcester to watch baseball. Don't even go to Boston.
shout out Worcester. Go watch Tristan Casas rehabilitate his career in Worcester. Okay, that's what I'm looking forward to. Before we move to Declan on kind of these thoughts before we get to or to spring training. Listen, it's gonna be fun watching this rotation carve guys up. But you know what's not gonna be fun is there's gonna be a few starts from the Pig and Garrett Crochet where he's gonna throw a masterclass of 7 innings, maybe 1 earned run, and the Red Sox are gonna lose 3-0.
oh, on some Paul Skeens shit.
We're gonna see some Pirates Paul Skeens fucking games for Garrett Crochet this season.
Can I just say one more thing, Declan?
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised. And again, I know he was a trooper all year and he was great. And he had no reason to complain because we made the playoffs. However, I would not be surprised if middle of the year when we suck so badly and Crochet is pitching like master classes every start that I get like Chuck sends a tweet saying, "Oh, front like emotions flaring with Crochet in the locker room because he feels like he's getting let down because his team can't hit the fucking ball and he's out there dealing for 110 pitches and his team sucks an immaculate amount of you know what." I don't like there could be issues in this locker room with him now because he has no help.
I can see it. Declan, don't even chime in on that. We're shitting on this team. Is there anything to be optimistic about?
Okay. Again, like you did say before, the pitching does look great. Okay, right, and that is a positive. But Jack, the difference in the team of this past year to this year, it's not that much different, right? It's only like no Bregman, but everything else is. What do you mean? What like?
No Bregman? What do you mean it's just no Bregman?
He was the best player
He was the best
You're-
fucking
you're
player
only
on the
finished my point, you
team.
only finished my point. Okay. Just only finish my point then. Fine. Yeah,
Go,
that's my point.
continue.
But okay, obviously, like that's a big difference. But like I wouldn't say the rest of the roster sucks. Because did you think the team was good last year?
I mean, like, no.
You didn't think the team was good last year?
I think
The
we
team.
overachieved.
Okay. Like it's tough to like wrap your head around it, right? Because the entire season last year was a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
At this time last year, we were fighting and clawing, and I was refreshing my Twitter. Are we gonna sign Alex Bregman? And they didn't. And it was basically a 1-year deal, as Bo Bichette is doing with the Mets right now. We had Rafi Devers on our team at this point last year. You know, if you have those two guys in your lineup, I could give a fuck less what the rest of the lineup is doing because they're going to fit to the mold of those two players. In one season, you trade Rafi Devers away for what's basically at this point Kyle Harrison and the guy that just got from Chicago in the Jordan Hicks trade. Horrendous trade. You also let Alex Bregman walk, who came in to replace Devers' defense. That's if you look at it like where you're just like, you didn't think the team was good last year, the team was hinging on a career resurgence from Trevor Story. The team was hinging on one truly good pitcher and Garrett Crochet, and Brian Bayo and Lucas Giolito getting extremely lucky. Extremely lucky. So many things went the Red Sox way outside of the wild card series where they struck out a lot. Right? So that's how I look at it like that. Not like objectively, but I look at it like that.
I agree it's not great. I'm not saying that the team's like amazing or like better than last year, which they're not. I just think it's going to be so bad if they don't get anyone else to play the infield. I just think it's such a bad situation to where you just don't want Hammy playing more games than he should. The only way you want Hammy playing is as a pinch runner. That's the only time you ever want Hammy in the game. and like I like Romy, but Romy's not a good enough to be the consistent second baseman at his position. He's good to come off the bench sometimes or to play the matchup. He's good, but not to play every day, right? Because if he plays every day, you see the cracks in his game, especially on defense. But if you're just having him for hitting, that's when he looks good. But like if you have him playing the whole time, he's not going to look good. And then like Chuck said, you have Meyer at third, but he hasn't had a he hasn't played what he hasn't played like 90 games in a season or something, or like that's the most he's ever played. Or
Yeah, like I talked about it like
even-
on each level, right? Single A all the way to the MLB. Like he's never played a full season before. Like
yeah,
you know, and I love the guy. I mean, the guy's funny. He's got a good glove. He seems to be a good locker room guy, right?
yeah,
But the bat needs work. You know, Roman Anthony's a stud. We all know that. We all understand that. When you have a stud that's under contract for, I don't know, very minimal amount of money for what he is, you should maybe build around the guy. Because you had a guy that was on contract for 11 fucking years. And you said, fuck you. You don't want to play first base, even though we literally told you were going to play third base. And then we told you that Alex Bregman was going to play second base. And we never told you that we were going to even sign Alex Bregman. But like, fuck you.
yeah.
When he's supposed to be your cornerstone franchise guy, you lie to his face. And then after you sign Bregman, you say, oh, he's going to play second base. Even though we didn't tell you that we were going to sign him. And then, oh, not to mention, you're gone. Plus the guy that we replaced you with, we're not going to re-sign him.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
Craig does have a short leash though. That's he has a short leash. If he doesn't,
well, let me tell you something about GMs for the Boston Red Sox. They don't last long.
Yeah,
they don't, and they get scapegoated. Chaim Bloom had to trade Mookie Betts because they weren't going to sign him. Everyone shits on Chaim Bloom like it was his fault that the return was bad. They could have had Will Smith if Dombrowski just traded him in 2019 because they knew they weren't going to re-sign him because they signed two pitchers instead. Chris Sale and fucking Eovaldi. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on from that because there's not much to talk about with the Red Sox right now. And hopefully Mickey Gasper's on the opening day roster. That's kind of the one thing I'm looking forward to. We'll do our projected Red Sox win totals during spring training. And that will be fun. We'll also get to see some guys like Campbell and Roman and everyone kind of get back into the end of the swing of things. And we have reached the pivotal part of this program. The NBA trade deadline. A lot of shit has happened. A lot of stuff's going on this week. We'll start from Sunday, where what's the biggest one on Sunday? The DeAndre Hunter trade. Probably, right? So Cleveland sends DeAndre Hunter to the Kings. And Dennis Schroeder.
And the Cavs get Dennis Schroeder.
Yep. So that's that one. Not really much. Sarge, not much to talk about that one. DeAndre Hunter, okay. I mean, Cavs got him from the Hawks. They were like, maybe this. No, okay. So.
I think we'll start with the Jaren Jackson one. I mean, there's the Hawks one, but no one really cares about the Hawks. So, yeah.
Well,
So, as in, the Grizzlies in their huge trade, to get more draft picks, they trade their big star Jaren Jackson Jr., John Conchard, Jock Lawndale, and Vince Williams Jr. to the Jazz for Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang, and 3 future first-round picks. By the way, same Georges Niang that was on our basketball team earlier this season. And
people I can't believe that nobody fucking likes Georges Niang.
No one likes him. But then, and they get 2 27 first-round picks and a 2030 first-round pick. So, if you're the Grizzlies, that's not a bad haul, I would say. Like Walter Clayton Jr. is a young player. He was great for Florida in the tournament. He won the tournament. But they just fucking salary dump him, which is kind of crazy. How the Grizzlies salary dump this guy and they send him to Utah. To Utah?
I genuinely think Utah is purgatory. I don't know what you guys think, but I mean, I think it is.
I don't know,
what you have Ace Bailey and friends basically, and Laurie Marketing.
Weird though, because they're like a weird. because they're like a bad good team. If that they're a good bad.
They've
team.
won 16 games this year.
I know, but their wins are weird. They won like against good teams. I get it, but it's like it's a weird team. But trust in Danny Ainge, I guess, if you're the Jazz, because he made good moves with the Celtics. He's still living off that, but whatever. We can skip over the other trade. The Bulls Timberwolves Pistons trade is not that big of a deal. It's not a big trade,
I mean, obviously the Anthony Davis one, that one's not even a big trade to me anymore because I know the haul was big for Washington or whatever, or for, you know what I mean, for the Mavs, but like Anthony Davis is just like not it, you know? So it's like,
yeah, what Chuck is referencing, they got Anthony Davis for a bunch of players, and they got like 2 first. They got like the Mavericks got like 2 first-round picks and 3 second-rounders, which that's not a terrible haul for them, for Dallas, because now they're probably just going to build around Cooper Flag, and maybe they'll keep Kyrie just to have like his veteran presence. But once his contract is up, no. But they still have a pretty decent team.
I also, I mean, I think the one, since it's close to us, is the Vucevic trade.
Yeah, I'm going to that.
I don't really know how to feel about it. He's like the worst defensive center in the NBA. And he's really good offensively. I mean, he's like fun to watch. Yeah. He's got like these one-handed slams and pick and rolls. He's really good at picking pops.
He fits the system.
I think he fits the system well. I just think that Joe Mazzulla is going to have to like light a fire under him somehow to get better defensively. I want to ask Jack.
Yeah.
I want to ask Jack first for, you know, we can talk a little bit about, I'll have Declan talk about Vucevic's defense, but Anthony Simons, I think he just wasn't really a fit here. Was an incredible basketball player. Loved watching him. His defense grew tremendously throughout this season. What do you think that fit's going to be like for Chicago?
I think it's going to be a pretty good fit. I mean, look, I didn't mind Simons at all. Simons, I'm sorry. I didn't mind Simons at all. It's unfortunate that we couldn't see kind of how he played with Tatum and Brown on the court, because I think with those two on the court, obviously they take a lot of attention from the defenders. And I think Simons would have been wide open either in the corner, on the wing, or I think he could have been a real impact on this offense with both Jays on the floor. Unfortunately, that's not how it worked. He's obviously in Chicago now, but look, I don't mind Vucevic. I know some Celtic fans were hoping for Zubac or, someone along those lines. We got Vucevic. As you guys mentioned, he can play on the offensive side. Would like to see him be better on the defensive end. Look, I think if he really stepped up on defense and became a rim protector and could block shots, like I think we could kind of see a next Porzingis kind of thing.
Yeah, the only thing is he is 35 years old.
He's old, yeah.
So you can't really. It's kind of like trying to teach a old dog like new tricks,
right?
But also, like in the Simons thing, like he was a 27 mil cap hit, and now they go to Vucevic, who's a 20 mil, and they weren't going to re-sign like Anthony Simons anyways, because his deal's up, and so was like Vucevic's deal is up at the end of this year anyways. I think Vucevic is a fairly solid rebounder. He's averaging 9 rebounds, which is what the Celtics team needs, is fucking rebounding. And yeah, he's a good scorer. Obviously not great on defense. He's kind of a cone on like defense, but it also just bolsters the depth chart of this team, because yes, I think Garza is a great hustle player. He's been playing well, and so is Keita. But I think you just bolstering the depth chart just like makes you even better, because then you can because now you can interchange Keita. Sometimes you can interchange Vucevic. Vucevic is kind of that like he can shoot. I think obviously other people wanted some other players, like Jack said, people wanted Zubac, but I think their asking price was a little high because they wanted 2 first-round picks. And I think the Celtics would rather give away Simons in second rounder and get a second rounder back. I like I think maybe if Joe can like tweak his game to be a little bit better defensively, he could be an even better player for this team.
Mhm.
And apparently they're also still not done. I've like heard they still want to try to sign a backup point guard or trade for a backup point guard, which is interesting because I still think because this puts them under the luxury tax again. This move, it puts them under. So that's another thing about it.
Yep.
I think it's overall a good move, and maybe maybe it's a sign that Jayson Tatum will return at this point because my mantra was to say, oh, if they don't trade for a center, he probably won't come back. But if they trade for a center for a guy, Jack, who's on his last year of his deal, and I don't even know if they'll re-sign him because he's going to be a 36-year-old center. So I think this is them trying to go like all in for the playoffs. I think this team's still good. I think there's going to be more points to come from the bench. I think like Hugo needs to step up. Jordan Wolf needs to step up a little more just to like cover because he was averaging 15 points off the bench, and I think you're gonna see that like difference like to start like a little bit. But I think if they step it up enough, you won't really notice the difference.
Right.
But I think to start, you will see a difference in this team. And it's interesting to see what they do because I believe in Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens is probably like one of the best GMs we've seen. Like he makes like if you look at like him as GM compared to Craig Breslow, oh my god,
night and day.
It's like they're not even on the same planet.
Yeah.
Like it's like he's such a good GM, and he always has his mind like ahead of things, and like I still think this team can be very good. We'll see what happens, but I think especially if you add Jayson Tatum back to this roster, Jack, do you think? And I know you've had mixed opinions about whether Tatum should come back or not, but if he's fully healthy and you add Vucevic to the team, how does this roster look for you? Look for you in the playoffs?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's something to be afraid of. If you're the Eastern Conference, I think it's obviously you get Tatum back and healthy, like the Tatum that's a top 3 player in the National Basketball Association when healthy. You have Brown playing the way he is. You have this new Vucevic ad. Derek White starts playing the way that we know him to play like it could be scary. And look, as you know, with the Celtics and last year, like it's hard to repeat. And OKC started historically well, but since then you really haven't heard too much about him.
Well, I don't want to interrupt that, bro.
They're still great. Don't get me wrong.
Well, I don't know if you know, but they just added somebody.
Yeah. I saw.
Oh, I do the pod. I'll shut that out. The Oklahoma City Thunder are getting Jared McCain from the Philadelphia 76ers for a first round pick and 3 second-round picks.
Yeah.
Because the Thunder have picks to throw at people. They have 1 million picks to throw at people. So I just wanted to point that out. But so, I mean, he's been struggling, but if he can find consistency, this Thunder team's even scary again.
Yeah. I mean, no, I agree. Like, I think, what he did a year or two ago.
But I do agree on your point, though. It's very hard to repeat. We haven't seen a repeat champion since the Warriors. You know what I mean? We haven't seen.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll happen this year. I think maybe it could.
Yeah.
Obviously, like SJ is the front runner for MVP. But we'll see what Luke has to say about it because he's been.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think of the whole Harden and Garland thing?
Well, I was going to get to that before you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Because so obviously, last point about Celtics is maybe they'll trade for a point guard by tomorrow, but definitely a solid move. Like a move I wasn't fond of at first, but I've kind of grown into it a little more. But then, well, let's fucking get to the biggest trade of the evening yesterday. One of the biggest trades, or the quickest time. I think this might be one of the quickest turnarounds I've ever seen someone like request a trade, and then not even within a day they're off the team.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go with this classic, where the Los Angeles Clippers trade James Harden to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Darius Garland and a second round pick, which I know Jack will have his opinion about James Harden, which is always an interesting opinion. But a very I think this trade's interesting for both teams. You know, where the Cavs have been concerned about Garland. You know, because I think Garland's a decently good player, but he's had the injuries. You know, his injuries have been such a question. But to be fair to him, he's only 28 years old. He's just entering his prime.
Right.
So, but I see why the Cavs did this. Like the Cavs kind of trying to want to bolster this offense, you know, because they've been struggling. They're like the the sixth or the seventh seed right now. They've been kind of struggling, and they've even they've played good without Garland. So I think that's what went into their decision. You know, I think obviously people always get mad, but I think it's kind of impressive for James Harden. And I know you're not gonna like this, but it's kind of impressive how every time he's able to actually get a trade request done, because most of the stars, to be fair, can't get a trade request done, which is fair to him. But yeah, it definitely was a shock to the whole Clippers organization, which I don't know how shocking it would be. But yeah, but I also think from the Clippers standpoint, you just had to do it because he wasn't going to play. If he requested the trade and you didn't trade him, he would have sat out.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think it's a decent move for LA. I think now it kind of opens more space for Garland to kind of show what he can be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously, the main ball handler is kind of going to be Kawhi, but I think it's going to be a lot of time where he's not playing.
Mm-hmm.
And the Clippers are going to have to rely on Garland and Zubac. And by the way, I think they won't trade Zubac now, just because they want to try to do anything they can to get at least in the play-in.
Yep.
Because it's scary that the Thunder have their pick, and if they do bad, the Thunder get a top 10 pick, which is even scarier to think about. But just want to know your thoughts. Obviously, you always have an opinion on Harden, but this Cavs team does look better, I'd say, because Harden is having a very good scoring output, 25 points per game, eight assists, and Garland was only averaging 20 and 6 assists. So I think it's definitely something that could work in Cleveland. What do you think?
I agree. I think there's something to consider though about the fact that Harden doesn't work wherever he is, and is Donovan Mitchell still going to want to bring the ball up? You know, is he going to get along with Harden? Is he going to So again, like you said, I think it's a good point to touch on the fact that Harden, every team he's been on, he's requested a trade, and he's been granted that. I for sure thought Giannis would have been out of Milwaukee
before he was
right. It's crazy, and I don't know. Maybe the Cavs did try to get something for Giannis, but I'm not sure. If Harden plays like his old self, I think this Cavs team, him and Mitchell, I think could be great.
I think they play off each other pretty well.
Yeah, obviously, Mobley is a stud and he's good defensively and he's good down low.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. I think Garland will be able to prove himself a little more in LA, working off of Kawhi, but yeah, it's just weird, just weird stuff. And I'm looking forward to seeing where Giannis goes, because that's what I want to see.
Yeah, we're gonna about Giannis. I mean, obviously, the big name that's been mentioned has been the Timberwolves, which I don't know if you, but that'd be a pretty good duo. I would say if you can get Ant, and Giannis, which because I think it could. I think Ant off ball could be a very dangerous player. Obviously, he'll still probably be a ball handler, but he would have the grace to play off ball, and he's pretty scary off the ball. If you've seen that. That's only been one of the really big teams. I know the Knicks are a name in there. But I don't really see who else would really trade for him. Like, it seems I think it probably will be the Timberwolves,
Yeah.
but there hasn't really been any movement since then. They said they've been interested.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously everyone's interested in Giannis. They
Right.
probably gotten calls from the Lakers, the Warriors, but I think if you're the Bucks, the Lakers and the Warriors don't really have the greatest pieces you could get, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where like the Timberwolves actually have decently good young players. I mean, like unless the Lakers would trade like Austin Reeves, but I doubt they would,
Mhm.
especially because like LeBron probably might leave at the end of the season. They said so. At that point, why would you even trade him?
Yeah.
I just want to know, like, do do you think Minnesota is the move, or do you think there's somewhere else, like some other team that Giannis could go to?
You know, I think Minnesota would give him the best chance to win. I
Right.
think him and Ant would be it'd be cinema. It'd be really cool to watch. I have a weird feeling that Steph is gonna get him just because with the luck the Warriors have had.
True. That's
Um,
an interesting point.
I don't know. Like I'm not a Giannis guy. I'm not. But I think if there's honestly one team that could be fun to see him on, it'd be Minnesota.
Yeah, especially because this Warriors team, other than Steph Curry, is
I think they
just
suck.
well, especially now that they've even lost Jimmy Butler, who tore his ACL.
Are they what seed are they right now?
They are the 10th seed.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah, they're barely in the play-in. I think. Well, that's another interesting point. We'll see what the Warriors do in the offseason because maybe Steph gets a little frustrated. You know, like
Maybe, I could look,
don't say anything crazy.
would it not be cool to see Steph for like his last 2 years
Instead
go
of
home?
LeBron.
No, go home. Go to
Oh
Charlotte.
well, uh, I mean,
LaMelo, Knuckle.
the Hornets are good. Like Brendan Miller, like
All right, they're not. The Hornets are not good.
they've been playing really good basketball recently, though. If you've seen,
They have, but they're not good.
no, but I think if you had Steph Curry, that definitely like they have a way better team that would like be around Curry than the Warriors do.
Yeah,
Like Podziemski is just terrible.
he
He's
sucks. Yeah, you
he's
give Curry, LaMelo, and
on
Bridges,
Knuckle, Miller too,
Miller. Yeah,
who's also been decent. You know,
Knuckle. Like he'll have a field day. Like
yeah.
Knuckle, if Knuckle keeps this pace up, it could be like his next Clay Thompson.
Oh yeah.
You
Like
know?
him and Cooper Flag are going for that Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
They're probably the both like, well, probably the favorites right now. Like I think it
could
was a little
be.
different earlier in the season, but like Cooper Flag's adjusted so well. Like recently, obviously, he had the 49-point game a couple of days ago, and he had 36 against the Celtics last night. Who did beat him? But he almost had triple double against us, which is pretty impressive. That kid's probably going to be a future Boston Celtic. I think it's just written in
I
the
hope
stars.
so.
But back to Giannis though. I think it's definitely interesting because I think the Timberwolves would rather get this done now, or well, the Bucks rather because like I feel like you get more leverage in a trade deadline
Mhm.
than the offseason. Because they did the trade in the offseason, I think they get a worse return. And I think the Bucks just have to see the writing's been on the wall. Like the writing's been on the wall for the last 2 years, the writing's been on the wall. Where Giannis, which is so weird for a guy after the 2021 season was the best player in the world. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Right? At that point, he was the best player in the league. And to go from a guy since then who's won one playoff round since then is just so crazy to me because he's such a great player who should be more than just what he is and as of right now his career doesn't look that crazy. I mean, he had the 2 MVPs and
Mhm.
then the chip, but since then it's been just dormant and it sucks because they've wasted the prime of Giannis Antetokounmpo. You know what I mean? Like they've just wasted his prime. And now what? He's 31 years old, and now it's like he's kind of past his prime. And this Bucks team is just not good enough. I I think if this trade goes through, I think either Doc Rivers gets fired now or he gets fired at the end of the season. But I doubt at the end of the season they'll keep Doc Rivers' Bucks team.
I mean,
I
look
just
at
think
this.
I just think they maximize the draft picks they can get, especially if you saw Jaren Jackson got 3 first-round picks. Imagine how many picks. I don't even know how many picks Giannis is, like 4 probably?
6, maybe
No, he's not 6. But
5.
no, he's probably 4. He's probably 3 or 4 first-round picks, depending. It just depends who they move.
Mhm.
Because, like, I think in this trade, the Bucks would have to just give up. Well, I think the Timberwolves would trade like Rudy Gobert just to match the salaries. I think you have to get rid of Gobert and like Randall just to match the salary, just because he's so much money. And I think the Bucks would like include maybe like a Kyle Kuzma, just to,
Mhm.
like dump his contract, and probably the team that gets him will probably just buy him out anyways.
Mhm.
So I think they do that and then try to trade for like obviously the Timberwolves got Terrence Shannon Jr., who's a decent young player, Rob Dillingham, which the people have talked about, like hasn't really had his time to play. You know,
Mhm.
he's played, but he's only averaging like 8 minutes per game.
Mhm.
And maybe, but I don't know if the Timberwolves do this. Maybe the Bucks are for Jaden McDaniels, but I feel like Jaden McDaniels is so valuable for the Timberwolves team because I think if you lose him, you lose your defense. But then,
Anthony Edwards likes McDaniels a lot.
yeah, I know, but especially if you keep McDaniels, then just like imagine a lineup like this: Dante DiVincenzo at the 1, Anthony Edwards at the 2, Jaden McDaniels at the 3, Giannis at the 4, Naz Reid at the 5. That's a pretty fucking good like starting 5, especially because like Naz Reid, they're probably not going to trade anymore. But he's where spacing the floor because he's such a good like 3-point shooter, and
Mhm.
so is Dante DiVincenzo, and even Ant, who's also he's been improving his 3-point game like a lot more. He's like kind of going away from this kind of shot chucker type of vibe. But yeah, if this deal were if Giannis was the Timberwolves would be would be like an amazing deal.
Correct.
Yeah.
What did I just jump into here?
Talking about Giannis maybe getting traded to the Timberwolves, potential rumor.
Is that a good place to stop gap here since I've been gone from the set?
Yeah. Yeah, we talk
think
about
so.
Harden.
Bit of a chaotic episode.
Yeah.
I'd
Everything
say.
good?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really where I'm gonna leave off, Chuck. I mean, like, if you want to add something to maybe this like Giannis thing, this whole like saga in him and like Milwaukee.
I mean,
But I'm just saying, do you think like a like duo in Giannis and Ant would be good?
I think it'd be fun to watch. I'm just like not a big Giannis guy.
That's fair.
You know,
but
like I just I don't know. Like he won Milwaukee a ring. I mean, that's good for them.
yeah,
But like, you know,
I don't know. I think his career has just been kind of ruined by him just like sitting on that team and then like doing nothing to help him really.
just
Like,
dancing on the
like
yacht.
yeah, like I told Jack this, I kind of just wasted his prime. And now he's 31 years old and his prime is basically over. But if he could find a good situation, because like I think the Timberwolves like Jack made this point, they give him like kind of the best chance to go and like win something. You know what I mean? Because I think if they get Giannis, they go right up there with the Thunder and the Spurs. You know what I mean? Like they go right up there with teams to beat. But
Yep.
I don't know if the Timberwolves will pull the trigger. You know, they have like a day and a half to decide what to do, but that would be crazy if they end up making that trade.
Well, chaotic episode. I'm in and out of the room. I make it to the end though. Little Jack and Declan action there towards the end of this broadcast. Just a little production. We've got a brand new episode on Friday. It's going to be a full hour of Patriots talk. That should be fun. We'll preview the Patriots Super Bowl game a little bit more. We'll talk predictions. It should be a ESPN notification.
Oh,
Kobe White, Mike Conley are going to the Hornets for Colin Sexton. And
Ooh.
I don't know how to say that guy's name in 3 second round picks.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting for the Hornets.
Well, that should
Adding,
be it
like,
for
blue
us.
light.
We'll talk a little bit more. Anything else happens, we'll talk about it on Friday. Jack Lawler to my right, Declan Higgy to my left. I'm Chuck LaRossi. We'll see you next time.
Peace.